Good morning, everyone. Uh, Welcome to yet another episode of Decoding the Polls, a series of discussions, webinars, and podcasts hosted by Center for Public Policy Research, discussing the prospects and the trends in Indian general elections 2024. Today, we are discussing the exit poll results that were published by different agencies yesterday evening. And we are joined to discuss, we are joined by Dr. G. Gopa, former Vice Chancellor of Central University of Kerala and a very renowned psephologist, to discuss exit poll results. Welcome you, sir, to this particular episode on exit
Thank you.
polls.
Good morning, Dr. Dhanuraj, and all
Good morning,
other participants. Very good morning.
sir. I don't know whether I should start by saying that only Prime Minister Modi was so confident about Ab ki baar 400 par. But the exit poll results, in fact, we had this discussion in last few weeks, whether they are going to cross 400 seats or not. And one exit poll, in fact, that exit poll conducted by India Today, Axis My India, shows that they could even cross 400 seats, 401. That's upper limit they have given. But more or less, almost every exit poll gives an average of around 350, 360, 353, in between 350 and 360. This was not something that was there, when we were, even though BJP was very confident, Prime Minister was very confident, Home Minister was confident, but many have gone to the field and they said, no, this time they are not going to cross 350, but they definitely will come back to power. They will retain the power. But the exit poll results, if you go by exit poll results, BJP is right. BJP's confidence is, I'm so excited to see that BJP's confidence is exactly opposite to what UPA's confidence or India Alliance confidence. So how do you rate this exit poll results, sir?
Yes, what you concluded is exactly the point. The India Alliance was proceeding and addressing this election with relatively less confidence. When NDA and BJP declared that 400 par is their goal, the response immediately that has come from the India Alliance was that, you won't reach that level, but did not say that how much India Alliance will get. Only yesterday, they declared that their target is 295. In other words, what I would say is that there is relatively more optimism on the BJP NDA level and less optimism at the opposition alliance, mainly because the opposition was not united per se. Hardly a few months ago, the liquor policy of the Aam Aadmi Party was attacked by the Congress only. And there are a lot of contradictions among the opposition political parties that everybody thought that this is a hodgepodge alliance and if voted to power, they will fight among themselves. So on the other side, you have a very strong, structured, very consolidated leadership, organization, and a government. Whatever criticism one would say, compared to the 2009-14 Manmohan Singh government, and if you recall the kind of corruption charges following the Commonwealth Games, not even a single minister in Modi's cabinet was charged for corruption. Only when the Supreme Court highlighted the electoral bond issue, for which almost everybody has tasted the benefit of drawing money. Otherwise, the government was free from the kind of crony capitalism and the kind of corruption charges. So no minister was charged for or corruption or any kind of attack, particularly based on financial aspects. On the other side, the government advertised in such a manner. If you recall, December, January, February, almost till the call of the code of conduct, model code of conduct, the advertisements on the part of the government highlighting the developmental agenda, highlighting the social welfare progress, and finally concluding that it is Modi's guarantee The advertisement and such kinds of publicity received wide national attention. Even in Kerala, it received national attention, state attention on the part of the civil society. People began to think that, oh, this is a government that is delivering goods. And particularly, he improved infrastructure, brought rapid changes in national education policy, and brought improvement in the financial sector. And even yesterday, the report says that the economic growth, the GDP per se is 8.2. So on the whole, the feel-good factor is very much there. Before I conclude on this point, I will give you one more interesting point. What brought the confidence of the BJP was that I was informed that this came to my mind, information very late, that by January, February, the BJP conducted an internal survey in all the constituencies where BJP contested, whether won or lost, at the rate of 28,000 voters in every Lok Sabha constituency. That's a huge number. And the response was, I got this information before the announcement of results or exit poll result. The result was the BJP is going to score easily 340 seats. That boosted their confidence. But of course, it had its problems because it negatively affected BJP cadre because what is called a complacency factor has come. And that complacency factor actually brought in the form of low polling in first and second phases. And then came the final target or instrument using communalism and appealing to the voters and attacking Muslim community from the part of the Prime Minister, resulting in a light, modest warning by the Election Commission, simultaneously to the Congress leadership as well. But nevertheless, Modi attacked the minority communities, trying to whip up majority communalism. That helped BJP in increasing the polling rates, and thereby the polling rates improved from third, fourth, and fifth. And today, if you can finally get the result, the polling rate is, compared to 2019, is just a margin of 1.5% less. So that shows the polling rate is not bad as projected, but it was a kind of the low polling data that the media highlighted, creating confidence for the opposition and creating a challenge for the NDA alliance that twisted the narrative from developmental and welfare agenda to that of a communal agenda. And that further created a problem because Congress was trying to divide the Hindu community by appealing to the caste census and reminding that OBC caste census has not, any caste census has not been taken since the last 10 years. A high time that you should have a caste census. So Rahul Gandhi tried to whip up on that point for a long time, but BJP did not agree for that, but rather said that we wanted to unite the community. Other words, what the BJP tried was, they knew very well that OBC politics will divide Hindutva. And at the same time, BJP's project was subaltern Hindutva, and expanding the canvas of subaltern Hindutva, they tried to recruit Dalits, tribes, OBCs into its fold, and that also helped the BJP to achieve more success beyond what neoliberalism helped them. Thank you.
Sir, I mean, these numbers are very, intriguing at times because there was a discussion about the swing states. I would say the states which could determine the outcome of poll results this time. And when I go through these numbers, let's say, for example, in Karnataka, out of 29 seats last time, they had won 25 seats, and then Sumalata joined BJP, and then it became 26 out of 29. But the and Congress party won state assembly elections last year, and then the expectation, I think, even at the India alliance level also, one of the states that they were expecting more number of seats to come through was from Karnataka. But almost every exit polls showcase that BJP is not going to lose, significantly in Karnataka. They are not going to lose even 10 seats. They are going to lose only 2 or 3 seats maximum. Still, they will be able to retain 24, 25 seats. Likewise, in Bihar, the performance is not so bad. JDU is still winning as per the exit polls. BJP, of course, they are winning. So out of 40 seats, they will win around 30, 32 seats. Not winning 40 seats, but 30 to 32 seats. But India Alliance were expecting half of the seats will be won by them. Maharashtra is also the same case. Maharashtra, because of the splitting of the parties and all, they were expecting, India Alliance was expecting they will have a better show. But if we go by exit polls, it shows that there are also not much huge damage for BJP. They're still retaining majority of the seats. They have an upper hand. So this is on the expected lines. Exit poll results are on the expected lines or not?
Little more than what we really expected. My expectation at the most was 330, maximum 320, 330. That was the maximum expectation. We all, I particularly spoke in the social media that the continuance of India government is assured. BJP will form a government with a narrow majority, with a reduced majority, and India at the best will score close to 330. That's the maximum that I expected. But it seems to have exceeded the limit, and there is more of a kind of a wave, not just an ordinary wind. It is more a wave now. We thought it is a wind, but it has now become a wave. Let me take up all the three states, but in a separate way. Karnataka, I think, gives an excellent example for the students of political science in electoral politics. People split their votes, what we call ticket splitting, very clearly in case of Lok Sabha and Assembly. Couple of months ago, the same people voted for the Congress party. When it comes to Lok Sabha, they believe that it is better to have a united, stable government at the national level rather than an unpredictable opposition alliance. That is where I think ticket splitting of Karnataka voters has become very sharp. But even then, the projections, to my mind, is a little high. I expected a maximum of 18 to 20 out of 28 seats. Why? Because the Janata Secular Alliance that has come into the fold of the NDA of late, I think when it comes to that kind of operations, usually the benefit goes to the major party and not to the minor party. But as exit poll data says, Janata is also getting its share of seats, despite the controversy of Pradula Revanna. And the irony is that he is going to be elected. Pradula Revanna is going to be elected. So there seems to be the Modi factor very powerfully going through, and the people of Karnataka has no confusion as regards Lok Sabha polls are concerned. One more point on Karnataka. Like any other North Indian state, like Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, or Madhya Pradesh, or Rajasthan, BJP's Hindutva base is relatively very strong in Karnataka. You won't find anywhere in South India. BJP is strong among the students, among the youth, among the women, and the several Hindu militant groups are very active, including Bajrang Dal. So the Hindutva factor and Hindutva element, the conservative forces, that way if you call it, they are relatively very strong in the entire Karnataka state. And RSS have organized it very effectively. And they lost the assembly election mostly because unexpectedly, a lot of Congress leaders joined the BJP. This is otherwise called Congressization of BJP. With the result, too many corrupt leaders have come to the BJP factor. So 40% corruption, 30% commission, etc. That brought something unusual for a party like BJP in Karnataka. And that was the reason why they lost. Another reason why they lost. But nevertheless, unlike in Kerala or Tamil Nadu or Andhra Pradesh, BJP is very, very strong at the grassroots level in Karnataka. Whether they win in future or not, the BJP has a sound base in Karnataka. I have understood this point very well at the grassroots level. Coming to Maharashtra and Bihar, there also you'll find expectations exceeded the limits. I expected a maximum of 30 seats for the NDA in Bihar and 10 for the opposition. But here also there is an interesting factor. The Nitish Kumar's return to the NDA was a game changer in the sense that Nitish Kumar, had it been on the opposition alliance, things would have brought a big difference. But he is a very sharp fellow who understood that the opposition alliance is not likely to form a government, and his prospects and dreams of becoming the prime minister is not going to work out. So he can better become a kingmaker or a cabinet minister in case in the event of NDA coming to power. So he was a very sharp politician who understood the trend so early and shifted his position very
He's
effectively.
always so prophetic, sir. I mean, every time he's on the winning side.
Yeah,
I was wondering, every time he's on the winning
yeah,
side.
such a sharp politician you will not find anywhere. Earlier, we thought Chandrasekhar was one like that, our former prime minister, but
Uh,
nobody matches Nitish Kumar to that extent. Such a sharp. So he understands the psyche of the voters very well than any other political leader, and therefore that changed the trend. And BJP has already a very sound base in Bihar, and which was shown in the last parliament elections. And nevertheless, and also the fact that the BJP has a base at the grassroots level further helped them. So the opposition alliance tried to organize, but nevertheless, as we understand, Congress base in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, particularly Uttar Pradesh and Bihar and Bengal, has been already eroded, and this has been true for a very long time. Congress is a marginalized party as far as UP, Bihar, etc. are concerned. The Hindi heartland, particularly Bihar and West Bengal and Uttar Pradesh, Congress has become very small organization. So where are the votes likely to come? So that has become a very big problem. And the appeal of the Modi plus Nitish factor together seems to have worked very well. But even then, I would say that it is beyond my expectation. Out of 40, I expected maximum of 28 to 30 seats. But since the exit data proves otherwise, I think the wave is on. So that explains the limitations of Congress party in a huge state like Bihar, and also the just like in Karnataka, how JDS helped the Congress, and now how JDS is helping, JDU is helping the BJP alliance very effectively. So the electoral calculation seems to be on the right side. And coming to West Bengal, I think coming to Maharashtra, yes, Maharashtra is much more, I think, one of the most unpredictable states as far as this election was concerned. And given the fact that regional parties like Shiva Sena and the Nationalist Congress Party, which is now a regional party, and given that they are divided and split into two different factions, so those factions began to fight each other. But there was some feeling in the state that there will be a sympathy in favor of Uday Thackeray and also in support of Sharad Pawar. But Sharad Pawar declared that he is going to join the Congress party after the election. So all these indicated some swing, and BJP, which has become very powerful by sidelining Shiva Sena over a period of time, like our CPM in Kerala, which has the ability to marginalize regional forces, BJP also has the ability to marginalize regional forces, with the result that Shiva Sena is getting finished. And I don't think Shinde faction can become a very strong pressure group in the NDA. And on the other side, the BJP on its own has become so powerful. Let me add that if you look at the infrastructure, one of the biggest bridges and biggest 16-line roads are in Maharashtra. And look at the kind of infrastructural progress in Maharashtra. So for the business development and for the upper middle class and the middle class who wanted to ensure that economy is safe, and being the what is called the most economic capital of our country, Mumbai has been the forerunner of all these developments, and it has been supported by the kind of infrastructural progress throughout the state. I think that facilitated the BJP to do very well for a national election. Assembly poll could be different or slightly different, but as parliament poll is concerned, people have no confusion that for economic development, for the rise of neoliberal growth, especially for employment opportunity, and to fight unemployment and poverty, I think the present policies of Modi is helpful, are helpful. And given the fact that he has developed an image that within next 5 years, India is going to be the third largest economy, and India's space in G20, all these has appealed to the people, both in urban and rural areas, and therefore they don't want to disturb the Delhi government. That could be the reason why the Maharashtra response has. But even then, it creates a little surprise. So all these three states which you mentioned, Karnataka, Bihar, and Maharashtra, have different reasons for its success. And that's why I say it's not one and the same. They are all different. But BJP's strength in all these three states cannot be underestimated. And particularly in South Karnataka, and again, you'll find in Maharashtra and Bihar, their base have expanded. And expansion of the Hindutva agenda, particularly the subaltern Hindutva agenda, through which they are trying to capture as many as OBC and Dalit votes to their fold. It's a very sharp strategy. The leadership is very cunning at that way. And look at other South Indian states like in Andhra Pradesh, where BJP has absolutely very limited base, but the bandwagon was created by riding on the TDP. They understood that YSRCP is not going to work. So they practically shifted to TDP, and that paid off very well. And in Karnataka, their roots are very clear. Grassroots strength is very clear. And coming to Telangana also, you'll find the same thing. Perhaps you'll find how BRS has been marginalized, with the result that it has become a two-party competition straight between Congress and BJP, barring the AIM, which you can expect one seat in Hyderabad. Thank you.
So, a couple of comments to what you said. This is regarding Maharashtra. I had a pretty long conversation with some of my friends based out of Mumbai. So they were saying we can't. I mean, the reason I thought of adding this comment here is we can't rule out the role played by Shinde as CM of Maharashtra, because they are pretty impressed the way he is actually leading the infrastructure development in Mumbai city. And they cite examples like the Mumbai Metro Rail now getting extensions. That was paralyzed for some time during Uddhav Thackeray government. Then the West Coast Express Highway line, that is on the sea line. And recently they opened the other bridge also, Rajiv Gandhi Setu, extension of Rajiv Gandhi Setu connecting Worli and Bandra. And then I'm told that he's also very particular about the Navi Mumbai, new airport coming up. And he apparently visits these sites quite often.
Yeah.
And the local people are very impressed and by his leadership as a CM. Anyway, this I thought of adding my conversation.
You're right that maybe that is an extension of justifying the double engine government.
Right. Yeah. And I think as a minister in his as a minister, not as chief minister, as minister also, he was a go and do man. I mean, go to do man kind of a minister in that ministry. So people love his attitude and approach to some of the development projects, because Bombay has been stagnant growth-wise, infrastructure growth-wise. Bombay has been stagnant for so many years, and now he is giving he's reviving many of the projects. Anyway, so coming back to a discussion on the exit poll numbers. One thing I noticed last 7 weeks is of most of the psephologists and survey people, they agreed that they had a consensus that BJP is going to win. BJP is going to win. There's not going to be any change in the government in Delhi. But at the same time, somebody like Prashant Kishore, Yogendra Yadav, we all know how they differed in their opinion. But on one factor, there was a consensus on both. From Prashant Kishore and Yogendra Yadav agreed upon. That was the decline of Modi brand. I think Yogendra Yadav was emphasizing on decline of Modi brand. Prashant Kishore, even though he said, BJP will get equal or more to what they had in 2019, but Modi brand is declining. And he was one of the, I still remember that interview he had given. He said, look at the YouTube channels, look at Facebook, how many people are sharing his videos, liking his videos. There's a sharp decline. But now, if you go by exit poll, Modi brand is not at all declining. It is, he is going to make a history in India. So how do you look at it?
Yeah, this is very surprising. I do remember and also heard and saw Prashant Kishore arguing that the YouTube ratings of Modi has come down. And that was a scientific argument on his part to say that the Modi brand is not as sharp as it was. But nevertheless, he was expecting BJP to come back and BJP's victory to power. But on the other side, you have a Yogendra Yadav. almost predicting that the defeat of BJP is very possible. And you and me have been pumped with articles every week from Yogendra saying that how BJP is going to be defeated in this election. Now, here is a very interesting test case for us to understand between Prashant Kishore and Yogendra. To my mind, personally, I felt from my experience that Yogendra is a more professional than Prashant Kishore, particularly at the grassroots level. He was a sharp grassroots political analyst. I have worked with him very closely in CSDS 12 years, 15 years ago. And he was instrumental in popularizing the pre-poll surveys, post-poll surveys, and exit poll surveys in a gigantic manner, beginning from 1995 onwards, 96 elections onwards. And I was associated with him for a pretty long time. And his analysis were very sharp. I said, where, not now. The problem with Yogendra was, over a period of time, he developed a strong dislike for BJP. And this is something that we have to understand as psephologists. Sometimes the observation that we get may be contrary to what our heart speaks. This is something very important, and we may have to report empirically and factually what is actually happening. And this is where I think Yogendra missed the best. His over critique of BJP blinded his research and analysis. Unfortunately so. And I pity the kind of fall in Yogendra, unlike in the past when he was such a sharp analyst and he was an apt as a political scientist for understanding grassroots research work. I have attended to a number of his training programs, listened to his lectures, and the manner in which he was developing election studies. But when it comes to the recent last 10 years or so, he has changed so much. He moved to Swaraj Party. He was thrown out of Aam Aadmi Party, and he was moved to Swaraj Party, and then he moved to Congress Party. He is now an activist, and Bharat Jodo Yatra, he was one of the staunch activists of this movement. See, this is our problem. So if I join a party and then I become an independent psephologist, problems will come. And an independent psephologist has to identify the roots and the facts as such. And even if your heart doesn't permit you, you must have the guts to say, this is what is actually happening in the ground. And therefore, you have to say the reason. But as you know, particularly you look at the Kerala psyche, the Kerala character, the same sense, his antipathy towards the BJP had blinded his analysis. And therefore, his assessment that there is a strong but a silent anti-Modi factor is there has been proved completely wrong. I won't rate Prashant Kishore to the extent of sharpness of Yogendra until recently, but this time Prashant Kishore proved to be more factual. And but there again, he missed the best when he said that Modi factor is not as strong as in the past, counting the YouTube listeners. The fact is there is a difference between 2019 and 2024 election. There was a war, there was a shadow of war, and there was a conflict between Pakistan and regional tensions, particularly in the border areas. And therefore, in the North Indian electorate, there was an upsurge. And that favored BJP. A kind of ultra-nationalism has been highlighted. This time, there was no such thing. There was nothing emergency, no contingencies were coming, except that you have to decide who should form the government and your future for the next 5 years. So when it comes to that, a way was lacking. And therefore, all psephologists believe that there is no strong Modi wave, but you and me also agreed that there is no strong anti-Modi wave. That also we have highlighted, both of us have highlighted. Right. There is no strong anti-Modi wave either. That was the reason why we believed that BJP will come back to power for sure, but with a reduced majority. But as results now prove, and as some of the journalists reported from the ground earlier also, despite the public criticism of the Modi government, its inability to tackle unemployment, its inability to tackle inflation, price rise, ultimately, when it comes to the question of who should form the next government, everybody said Modi. And CSDS data 3 months ago, before the code of conduct has come, also spoke of the difference between Modi and Rahul. 22%. Modi and Rahul, the difference is 22 points. That's a huge number. How can this be over? But your question still is very strong. Why is that this wave could not be understood? Even yesterday, I was listening to Sandeep Sastry when he said that there is a wind, there's a strong wind, but I don't think it will become a wave. But if the exit poll data can be believed, it is becoming a wave. And this Modi wave was not measurable to anyone. And that gives a surprise to all of us, except that when it comes to prime ministership, and TV anchors and journalists used to counter this question, well, in 2004, there was no prime ministerial candidate for UPA, yet Manmohan Singh became the prime minister. That could be true, but usually in parliamentary election, let us believe that, let us think historically also, every parliament election is also a referendum for the prime minister. And then therefore you have Modi on the one side and a couple of leaders on the other. Who are these people? You have Rahul Gandhi, you have definitely Aam Aadmi Party leader Arvind Kejriwal, and you have Akhilesh Yadav, and these people and the kind of leaders that are coming from Bihar and other places, they are all giving a kind of a regional kind of interest compared to the overarching national scenario, and therefore the Modi brand is a fact, which we missed that way, though not completely, because wind was there. We understood that there is no anti-Modi wave either. And you should also see that after 10 years, if the same person continues to be popular, that is something extraordinary. Thank you.
That is, I think, if Modi wins, as per the exit poll numbers are shown, I think this is not only significant historically in Indian context, it's in the global context also, because I don't think any global leaders have such a popularity these days. Trump is not trading, Biden is trading there in US, Trudeau is trading in Canada. I think in French president is also trailing there.
Yeah.
And if I'm not wrong, next week, Modi is going to attend G7 meeting. So I'm sure this will be a very interesting discourse. You know, such a person, such a leadership in India, even after 10 years, having such huge popularity. Anyway. My next question is, when I go through the exit poll results, it almost tells me that BJP is going to have at least one seat in every state in the country.
Not
I mean,
everywhere. Not everywhere. But
except a couple of states in Northeast, but otherwise, more or less, it is becoming like a pan-India, East, West, South. Because earlier it was only a North Indian party. Then last time it was became a North Indian and a Western Indian party, a Northeastern party, by winning seats in Assam. But now exit poll says that they will win in Kerala, they will win in Tamil Nadu. How do you look at this, prospects?
I remember having discussed this factor long back, at least 2 months ago in Asianet channel, where I predicted that certainly BJP is going to shed off its North Indian identity and is going to be a pan-national party. Why I said so? Because I foresaw the possibility of enlarging the scope of the BJP, particularly in developing and providing a powerful leadership at every state and every region, not like the way that they try to influence the northeastern states, but in South India, they had their own project. And this project, I understood, that is why I said, because by bringing Annamalai in Tamil Nadu, that is a game changer. By throwing out AIDMK, had the guts to stand on its own. Having an anti-Dravidian party with a North Indian character, with Hindi bias, all these things, the BJP is going to poll around 22% in this election.
I would like to add, sir, here the Tamil Sangam, that Varanasi Tamil festival they are doing, it become very popular.
Very popular. I was about to say that I had seen the Tamil Sangam working very well. And even if you travel to Varanasi or even you travel towards Varanasi by flight, you'll find a lot of Tamil people joining their move towards Varanasi. So this spiritual politics, the spiritualization of politics had its impact. And Modi was very sharp in looking at this factor by attracting the Tamil factor towards faith and spirituality, for which Lord Shiva played a very important factor. Varanasi is a factor. So that way, the kind of Tamil Sangam and the relationship between Varanasi and Tamil Nadu, which was historically rooted, has been recreated by Modi. So this requires a lot of intelligence, lot of training, etc., planning. This is one factor, definitely one factor. But look at the way they have also tried to develop Andhra Pradesh by foreseeing the possibility that YSRCP is going to be in the negative level and there is strong anti-incumbency. They got hold of Telugu Desam party, and by riding on Telugu Desam, Andhra Pradesh BJP is going to get 3 to 4 seats easily. And definitely already expanded its share in Karnataka. I told you that Karnataka is a different state where BJP has a strong base, unlike in other states. So Andhra is like that. Telangana, they have improved, definitely improved, and they are going to capture at least 8 to 9 seats out of 17, which is a good number. And coming to Kerala, and that's very interesting, our own state. One problem still with the BJP as far as Kerala is concerned is the leadership factor. There is no anomaly in Kerala. I won't reject the possibility of leadership change in BJP in Kerala in future, and probably a young person like Anup Antony taking up the reins. You know, have you anticipated this possibility? Anup Antony, he is trained from Delhi. He is, as we know, the name clears, he's a Christian from Kerala.
I know him. I met him a couple of times. Yes. Yeah.
And his sound basis in Hindutva ideology and strong understanding of Indian politics, a very young person, I think in future he has potential to become a very powerful leader from Kerala. But he preferred Tiruvalla to contest, but he has been forced to move to Ambalapura.
Otherwise, he's from there. Yeah.
So in future, he is likely to contest from Pathanamthitta for sure. So what I want to say is that even in Kerala, they are bringing changes, like Suresh Gopi, who's likely to be the winner from Tuchur, and by bringing Raji Chandrasekhar to contest from Trivandrum. So earlier they tried with E. Sridharan in Palakkad, which yielded good results, but definitely the vote shift helped Shafi Parambil to get elected from Palakkad Assembly seat. Otherwise, it would have been easy for Sridharan. The CPM ducked to the third position, very poor third position, and that helped the Congress candidate Shafi to win Assembly seat from Palakkad. Otherwise, it would have been E. Sridharan. So many were telling those days that Sridharan should have become a vice president of India instead of contesting an assembly seat. So BJP is trying to capture that kind of people who had very good reputation, and therefore Suresh Gopi is going to become another asset for the BJP. Even whether he's going to be elected or not, he is going to be a source of strong support for the BJP, the way in which he has. So Kerala is changing, and we do expect a poll rise, not 27%. I do expect only in 18%, much less. But from 15 to 18 is a big jump. The exit poll data says it is close to the left. I think it is absurd. I don't think that BJP is going to get 27%. The maximum.
And also 3 seats.
Yeah, pardon?
No. One exit poll says they may even win 3 seats in Kerala.
No. I won't think. They may get at the most 1 seat, and that is likely to be Trichy, not Thiruvananthapuram. And as we had discussed this point earlier, since there is a very good triangular healthy contest among the 3 aspirants, the BJP candidate has a better edge, particularly the manner in which how Suresh Gopi cultivated, acclimatized with Thrissur Lok Sabha during the last 5 years, especially while he was a Rajya Sabha member, and his connection with the Christian community, mostly upper caste people, and plus his appeal to the women section and helping the poor, and further that Modi ji himself had been visiting thrice for his success. So all these 3 things help Suresh Gopi to get elected. I don't think he can be a part of the organization because of his temperament. He is not fit to be a very good organizational
politician.
Yeah, but he's more a kind of a winning factor for the BJP, and his character to help the poor people also earned him popularity. So the maximum BJP's poll percentage will be 18, but it will be a big jump from 15. And you and me had been observing BJP right from its 2% in 1980. So from 2% to 6%, 6% in 8 and 9, and 9 to 11 to 12, and now 15. Now it is likely to jump into 18%. So BJP may or may not win a seat, not more than one seat. But in spite of that, BJP is getting more legitimacy and appeal in Kerala politics.
Okay. So now let's take some time to discuss Congress party's decline. Now, I don't know how they arrived at 295. I mean, honestly speaking, I was actually trying to find out how they arrived at 295 numbers. I mean, not Congress alone. The alliance partners met yesterday in Delhi and they announced that they are expecting 295. But Congress is in very serious trouble. I don't know. I don't think. I know this is not a new news or something new to Indian political in politics. But what could I mean? If these numbers are right, if Congress finishes within 60-65 seats, then what do you expect? Congress will go for a change, upheaval, change in leadership, any wishful thinking?
I'm sure Congress will improve from its earlier tally of 52, and it is likely to reach somewhere around 80, 75 to 80 for sure. It will improve. Definitely it will improve. But your question is very valid. What holds the future for the Congress? I was reminded of the recent speech made by Ramachandra Guha in Calicut. If you recall the memorial lecture, Virendra Kumar memorial lecture. Yeah, he was attacking the leadership of all political parties, particularly how Modi factor has created a kind of authoritarianism in almost all parties, including CPM in Kerala and Trinamool Congress in West Bengal and Biju Janata Dal in Odisha, etc., and Stalin in Tamil Nadu. But conversely, he also mentioned that, look at Priyanka Gandhi. She is straight from becoming, she did not even sought a membership, she straight becoming member of the Congress Working Committee and General Secretary of the ACC from nowhere. So there is a strong message that the present generation is not appreciating dynasty succession. And Rahul Gandhi has improved. I don't deny the fact that during the last 20 years, Rahul Gandhi has improved. There is no doubt about that. But his striking element is still weak. I envy that he got such a long time to apprentice in politics and enjoy the career without any kind of investment. But last 3-4 years, he has been very, very active. And his Bharat Jodo Yatra 1 and 2 has been well appreciated. His speeches also has become much more sharper. He started speaking like a politician. And that way, there is a change in Rahul Gandhi's attitude. And now he has become a little more mature than in the past. The problem with the Congress party is that it had destroyed its leadership over the period of time. It is not appreciating anybody else from other than from Gandhi family. Nobody else other than Gandhi family. This is a tragedy of the Indian National Congress. As somebody who has done doctoral research in Congress party, I know very well how Nehruism failed in Congress party, how Gandhism got eroded in Congress party, how psychophancy has become the fundamental culture of the Congress party, and how Congress declined to become an electoral party. And now it is nowhere. It is not even an electoral party. His leadership is not having the kind of strength to sharpen the politics and organize the people to the extent that they can lead the country. So this is the tragedy. And look at the attitude of the media when it shadowed or ignored whatever Robert Vadera has said. He declared his interest to contest from Amethi, or he was willing even to contest from Rai Bareli. We know very well Robert Vadera has been focused for corruption charges, and if he enters the electoral scene, there will be a lot of problems, which will give more opportunities for the BJP to attack. So the Congress is not learning anything, and the media just ignored his statements. Actually, he had no business to say that, and Priyanka had already entered the scene. But some people say that Priyanka is more efficient than Rahul Gandhi. Moving out of this factor, not because she has Indira Gandhi looks, but a generation has changed. Who is thinking about Indira Gandhi now? That is a reality. So contemporary Indian politics People are looking at the delivery of services and its effectiveness. Look at the manner in which yesterday some people had showed a kind of maybe a fraud air ticket, predicting that Rahul Gandhi is likely to move to Bangkok. You must have also received the copy through social media.
Okay.
I have received a copy. I don't believe in that.
Okay.
I don't believe in that. But Rahul Gandhi himself had the attitude and character of missing without notice. So these are all problems. You are right that there is a leadership crisis in Congress party, but there is no other way the present situation is likely to continue. Because they have destroyed others. Azad had moved out. Kapil Sibal had moved out. Who is there in the Congress party? If you leave these three people, if two people, Priyanka and Rahul, who is there in Congress party? And you don't expect anybody from South to come up in that level. Unfortunately, the national character of the Congress has been shadowed, had been narrowed to the lowest level. So what holds the future of the Congress party? I think Congress has to reinvent itself and reimagine and work very effectively. And Congress has the potential to re-emerge, provided there's a strong leadership factor. Unfortunately, leadership factor is missing. Even when Shashi Tharoor was contesting the election, he has been isolated. So they look at the manner in which even charismatic candidates are ignored by the Congress party. So they wanted to control this family dynasty succession has become a bane for Congress politics. So how to overcome this is something that one has to wait and see until the BJP commit a lot of mistakes. The prospects of Congress party to reinvent itself is very difficult. The era of one-party dominance led by the Congress party is completely gone. We are following Rajani Kothari's ideas right from 1960s. Where is the Congress system now? The Congress system is completely destroyed. It is dismembered. There is no Congress system anymore. And yesterday I was sad to hear, very sad to hear at 11 o'clock or so by times now, of course, he was a BJP supporter, we can say, Arnab Goswami went to the extent of saying the Congress has become a Kerala party with Muslim support. This is what he said yesterday. This is how he concluded his session yesterday night, saying that it has become a Kerala party with Muslim support. I was shocked to hear that because it is still a national party having branches across the country and has roots everywhere. This time they tried to limit their candidates to 320. That was a very good decision. And the manner in which some of the regional leaders are coming in certain pockets of the country offer some scope for the Congress party. But I think Congress has to reinvent. Its ideology is also in disarray. It is distant from Nehruvian principles. It is distant from Gandhian ideology. And also, it is not promoting leadership recruitment. Where is the youth leadership? Even in Kerala, the Kerala Students' Union is completely fighting each other. And the groupism in NSUI is another problem. So the Youth Congress is not a powerful force. So where is the recruitment? Where is the political recruitment taking place? And you have to compare with the other side. You have a strong rival, the BJP, which is cadre type of leadership and a particularly strong ideology. The Congress, unfortunately, misses an ideology. It had an ideology during Nehruvian days, and it upheld the ideas of liberalism, secularism, nationalism, etc. But over the period, it is sidelined, and therefore, one has to say that there is a bleak feature unless Congress party changes its policies and also its strategies and work hard in the grassroots level, nothing is going to come up. And I don't find any alternative to Rahul Gandhi because the alternatives have been sidelined and they have been destroyed. Rajesh Pilot is not going to, Rajesh Pilot is not, Sachin Pilot is not, Sachin is not going to come back. Who is there? Show me one leader who can replace Rahul Gandhi. And you want to have the president to become the leader of the Congress. Already is the president, but he has no basic support. He's a member of the Rajya Sabha. And so you have sidelined Shashi Tharoor. At least he has a charisma. He has an influence among the voters. So this is a sad plight. And therefore, Congress has to work very, very hard if they wanted to become the alternative of the BJP. If they wanted to challenge the BJP, I think huge challenges and responsibilities awaits the BJP. Sorry, the Congress party. Good that you raised the question because my research on Congress party began from particularly from 1967 to 1980 in Kerala. That was the focus. But for studying Congress Party, I started from 1885. And therefore, the historical connect is very well known to me. And the grassroots strength that the Congress Party enjoyed, particularly good old days of democracy, secularism, nationalism, and the kind of socialism. Today, socialism is outdated. The more ideological aspects are replaced by equity, inclusiveness. So how you are going to do that, and how such leaders can be cultivated? Unfortunately, I don't find any prospects, nor even in Venugopal, who is a very good advisor for Rahul Gandhi. I don't think nobody comes anywhere near to the Gandhi family, but Gandhi family themselves are in disarray. So I can't give an alternative solution to the situation. It may take another 5 or 10 years for the Congress Party to reinvent itself and come powerful. Thank you.
I think nobody wants to one comment I often heard in this election was that India is changing. India is so aspirational. Our population, young population is very aspirational. And that aspiration level, Congress is not able to match with their expectations in terms of, uh, what Congress is promising to them. They are talking about socialism, they are talking about caste census, but that is not what Indian voters are looking for. Anyway, we have another one more day to make sure that the numbers are right. But before we conclude, sir, I have a question. This question is raised by Sri Hormis Taragan. He's asking about exit poll.
Yeah.
Now, because every time we discuss exit poll, a lot of people say, what is exit poll? Do you have a bias? You have certain vested interest, and you don't see the scientific aspects of exit polls and all. And surprisingly to me, yesterday, not even a single exit poll, as far as I know, has given a hope to Congress and India Alliance. It's almost everybody said more than 330 seats for NDA. Obviously, I'm sure there are so many students watching this our discussion. They would like to know more about exit poll and the scientific aspect of exit poll. With that, we can conclude this conversation. But please, if you could elaborate a little bit on the exit polls.
True. The basic challenge for the exit polls today is that it has become a handpiece or an instrument for the journalists to report sensitive data. That is not the real purpose of exit poll. As Yogendra Yadav, who admires otherwise, once said, pre-polls and exit polls are instruments to understand the deeper dimensions of democracy. If you utilize the academic character of the exit polls and cross-tabulate the kind of results that happens in the pre-poll and exit poll, you will get much more scientific data. The present data that the BJP is going to win and Congress and Indian Alliance is going to default will the whole sensationalism and the excitement will lose after 2 weeks. But what is more important is the inner dimensions of democracy, for which these kinds of polls are very important. Number one, exit polls are likely to be more objective than other polls. Why? Because the public response is measured quickly within an hour or so after their polling.
I would like to, sir, have intervene here. The question is particularly about how exit polls are done and whether we are collecting the data from the voters when they come out of the polling booth. So that is a very technical question that many are interested to get answers from you.
Yeah. Can you repeat the first part of that question?
Sir, whether we are collecting data from the voters directly or indirectly, or is it something like we go to polling booths and once they cast their vote and come out of the polling booths, within there itself we are collecting the data, or are we going to households to collect the data?
Now, ideally, yes. The answer is very clear. As soon as the voter comes, I have done exit polls, so I know very well. As soon as the voter comes out of the polling station, we are interviewing him in the premises of the polling station. Immediate premise, either inside the compound or just outside the compound by waiting for the voter to come, not everyone at a stretch. Say, for example, in one polling station, which is your sample polling station, you wanted to interview 100 people from 7 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the evening. Okay, so polling station 5 in particular constituency is a sample. So polling station 5, you are waiting for the voter to come between 7 and 6, 7 a.m. in the morning and 6 p.m. in the evening. So you are not exhausting 100 people in 1 hour, but you are dividing the sample into stages, say 10 people, 10 people, 10 people, like that. You divide into several sections. So these timings also help so that a kind of a sample comes across the people, not just early voters or early birds, number one. Number two, you are interviewing him very soon. The indelible ink is still very cool there. It has not dried up. You are asking him, okay, can I have few minutes? Yes. And then cultivating with him, have you voted? I'm very happy that you come out of this. Show me your hand. They may show your hand. Yes, I had voted. I'm a pride voter. I'm an voter. And then the interview begins with limited questions. Unlike pre-polls, you will have only limited questions, hardly 10 to 12 questions. And these 10 to 12 questions, the most fundamental question is, whom do you have voted? And for which sometimes a dummy ballot box will be given and a ballot paper will be given so that the voter will be able to do a conventional type of voting. And since the vote has been actual vote has been done an hour ago, nobody will try to cheat the pollster. If I use the term cheat, So nobody, because they are very proud and they wanted to say, I did. It was a secret voting, but I don't mind it telling whom I voted. Or I'm going to poll in your ballot box and you can count whenever you find. I don't mind it giving the poll. So you will get better polling in exit poll than pre-poll. And you will get better accurate polling than pre-poll. So that is why exit polls are more or less exact polls. If I use the term more or less exact poll. There may be occasions when exit polls had gone wrong, but this time you are right in saying 100% exit polls are in one side. So it cannot be wrong. There can be a difference in numbers. For example, you and me may agree that at the most NDA may get 350 or a little less or a little more. But who knows whether they will reach 400 or 300? Who knows? So we know very well, we have a feeling that exit polls had overstated sometimes or understated. But the change of government is the continuation of the government and Modi's success is guaranteed. Okay. So that to that extent, exit polls should convey the result. So the answer to your question is, soon after the interview, soon after the voting, the respondent is interviewed in the polling premises, either inside the polling station, inside the polling campus, inside the school, if it is a school inside the campus, or just outside the campus. I have done this with the help of the police there, sitting there. This is a research work. And they have not objected. Anyway, your voting is over. What is the problem? So they will get the support, and exit polls, usually we won't go to their homes. So we are conducting interviews immediately. As soon as they start walking homes, they are requested to spend 10 minutes. And exit polls, the interview may take place 20 minutes or 30 minutes, but actually questions will be very less. You have 50 to 60 questions in pre-poll, but you will have 10 to 12 questions in exit poll. Because in exit poll, the data wanted to be very clear. Who is going to win? Who is going to lose? That is a fundamental part, but not for pre-poll. Pre-poll have many other objectives. Thank you.
So, could you also, to the benefit of the audience, could you also explain the difference between pre-poll, opinion poll, and exit poll? Because this is more often, it confuses a lot of people in India today. What do you mean by pre-poll, opinion poll, and exit poll?
Yeah, you have three kinds of polls here: pre-poll, exit poll, and post-poll. Pre-poll is conducted once or twice before the elections. Say, for example, you can have a pre-poll 1 month before the election. You can have another second round of pre-poll 15 days or 10 days before the election. So between the two, there will be changes. So what is happening before the election, and the voters, for example, you are asked with a question. The voter is asked with a question. Have you decided to vote? Yes, this time the election is coming. Yes, I have decided to vote. To whom do you vote? It's your secrecy. But let me ask you, when did you decide to vote? This is a question that comes often in the pre-poll. When did you decide to vote? And the answer may come, well, I have decided as soon as the elections are announced. Another answer is that no, I am looking at the campaign and I will be deciding looking at the campaign, influence of campaign. So I may be impacted by the campaign. I wanted to watch the campaign and manifestos, and then I will take a decision. The third option is that, well, I'm going to vote. My decision to vote came almost last 24 to 48 hours. So pre-poll can give a very good understanding of the deeper dimensions of democracy. So if you want to understand the dimensions of democracy of varied aspect, you can ask international questions, you can ask local questions, you can have economic questions, you can have cultural questions, you can have any number of questions ranging from local issues to international issues. And then the answers are not just yes and no. The answers are not yes and no. It could be don't know, it could be to some extent, it could be I may agree partially, etc. And I will also give you another kind of analysis that we do in electoral surveys. For example, there is a question in pre-poll. What are the major problems that this country faces? So all of us will have difference of opinion. Some would say number one will be unemployment. Some would say poverty is the number one problem. Some would say shortage of drinking water. Some would say communalism is another problem. Some would say price rise is another problem. So what you would say, how can you compute this data is a problem. So here is one method what we use in statistics called weighted average. So what we do here is that we pick up the whichever points got the first. And each first point is given, say, for example, 10 marks. The second point is given, say, 8 marks. The third point is given 6 marks. The fourth point is given 4 marks. The fifth point is given 2 marks, and leave the rest. And then you will find you calculate and tabulate for each question with separate weight as per the data of the voter. And finally, you will project a kind of a pyramid in which you will be able to highlight the most important problem according to the voters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Computation of, because I may have choices wherein my first choice will be yours will be the fifth choice, and your fifth choice will be somebody's third choice. That is democracy. That is democracy. So pre-poll serves the purpose of understanding the contradictions, the problems and dimensions of democracy. And democracy has economic, social, cultural, historical, political aspects. All these aspects under the sun can be measured. Coming to exit poll, the problem is that you don't have time to ask these questions. You are running against the time. So you want to know who do you have voted. At the most, you may ask, what prompted you to vote accordingly? And the answer could be economic, political, price rise, or few questions. That's why I said 10 to 12 questions. So exit poll has limited objective, but pre-poll has larger objective. And coming to post-poll can be done after 2 weeks or even after the government has settled. So why do you conduct a post-poll? And then you can measure the difference between pre-poll, exit poll, and post-poll. If you interview the same sample, if you interview the same voter, you will find difference between pre-poll, exit poll, and post-poll. Post-poll will be matured. Pre-poll is aspirational. Exit poll is concurrent. So that is how you can say, okay, exit poll is concurrent. Pre-poll is aspirational. And post-poll is your expectations about the government. Okay. And your maturity regarding the experience of the government. So all three things are very important because, why we do election surveys for the help of the students and other sections, I would say, we have data regarding economics because in India, we have National Sample Survey Organization. You have many other organizations doing economic data, collecting economic data. You have many other social organizations collecting social data. Besides, census is also there. But to the fundamental question, who will collect political data? And that is where exit polls, pre-polls, and post-polls are important. So political data are equally important, and therefore agencies like CPPR or other institutions, although we know very well, our pre-poll and post-poll study and exit poll study have been hijacked by the media. Ultimately, I would say that this is fundamentally an academic venture, not a journalistic venture. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And also to the benefit of the viewers, I would also like share some thoughts on this. And since I've been working this field for so many years, with the advancement of technology, I think the sample size increased quite a lot compared to what we used to do in exit polls. I know one agency does around 8,000 samples, 9,000 samples per one Lok Sabha constituency these days, and so they don't do polls in every 143 constituencies, probably majority 400, 450 constituencies. This year also, I know that agency have done more than 44 lakh samples. It's a huge exercise. And also the data points are collected, captured live on the through the handheld devices the surveyors and agents are using. It's no more manual these days, collecting and then later tabulating it. And because thanks to technology, it is served in a server live and all. It's a huge process, and I always tell my interns and students who come to discuss about it, don't say that this is a farcical exercise. It's a very, very, very academic exercise. A lot of homework goes into this thing. People make mistakes. Of course, there are so many other aspects to this, but it is not a funny way of approaching elections. It's a very, very serious academic business. Okay. So thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Let me briefly intervene and say that this is a great learning experience. It's a great learning experience. If you want to understand the real aspects and dimensions of democracy, ask the ordinary people. And you spend time, it is very educative, informative, and the ordinary person in the street will teach you much more than political science teachers, because they can communicate much better and they are facing their livelihood problems. So you listen to them patiently rather than bossing over them. And as a stenographer, you collect your data. But in the process, you are becoming a very good student of psephology. And that is the important thing. And you understand from the audience, where is the other journalists are doing only touch and go. But for institutions like us, it is more research oriented and academic oriented. We can write brilliant books, articles based upon this data. And probably this idea has become very, the history, for example, Indian Institute of Public Opinion in Delhi was the oldest institute who has done work, William Da Costa, and followed by the CSDS led by Rajani Kodari, and later many others, including Sanjay Kumar, Sandeep Sastry, Suji, and many others. Yogendra is no more a part of the CSDS because of his active involvement in party politics. But you have now many other institutes doing service like this. But most of this has become popular by the media because of its expensive character. You need the financial support, and only media can give the support. But nevertheless, I must say, this is a highly learning experience, and therefore, ordinary people can teach you a lot. I can tell you that they can teach you a lot. They can compare many things. They can understand many things, and therefore they are going to be your masters. So the real masters of democracy are the ordinary people, and their sense of understanding, even if it is not backed by academic qualifications, their own life experience will be a textbook for your study. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It has been a very, very extensive discussion on exit polls and also the techniques of exit polls. In addition to what were the results the survey agencies have published, I think as a democracy, again, it's a sign of maturity that if I think if we can hold these numbers true on 4th of June, I at times, in U.S. presidential elections or many of the European presidential elections, it is the exit polls results that what we look at initially, even before government, the election commission results come from these countries. I think India is also moving in the direction. Exit polls could be very, very, true to that nature of what is going to happen. And let's say, anyway, let's keep our fingers crossed and wait till June 4th to know how what is the percentage of accuracy in exit poll surveys and exit poll results. This has been a fascinating discussion with you, sir. Thank you for your time, and I'm sure we will meet again after June 4th to discuss post-poll results and the strategies and government formation. Thank you so much, sir. To the viewers, please share, subscribe, and share your comments. We are very much present on all the social media handles. You can search for CPPR India handle on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and X. So thank you so much for your time, and please join us for the next episode on 4th of June. Thank you.